Hello everyone, Shintobean here with some more Warhammer combat cards, and we have an updated schedule for the 5th anniversary event. It's going to be starting very soon again here on August 9th, and you can see they've rearranged some of the items on here. Notably though, the period for the Lords of War and Supreme Commanders being available in the general pool has been extended for the duration of the entire event. And I believe they will be doing a few more giveaways than originally planned. More wild cards, more free cards. Also, the 5 times rewards for victory chests will start on the 9th and continue for, looks like, 6 days. So be sure to open as many of those packs as you can during that time to make the most of those extra rewards. Now, for the campaigns, we are actually starting with my very own campaign here on August 9th, continuing for 2 days. That will be followed by Casual Dad's campaign. Then we got a 3-day Horde Mode campaign, and then the Community campaign and Play on Tabletop campaigns will be the last 2 of this event. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about the campaign that I designed. The theme is Shield of Baal Deathstorm. You'll be playing as Tyranids against Coalition of Space Marines and Servants of the Emperor. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you all a detailed rundown of what each level of this campaign looks like. If you want it to be complete surprise, I advise you to stop watching now, but otherwise, stay with me for some hints that will hopefully help you make it through the campaign. First up, for the modifiers, we've got all cards at max level, and you'll have 400 points and 8 bodyguards to build your deck. We've got Warp Storm, which increases the psychic attack of all cards on the field by +5 at the beginning of each turn. So that will give Psychers a little bit of a benefit. Overall, there aren't too many Psychers on the opposition, so if you do decide to go Psychic, it'll probably benefit you more than the enemy most of the time. And then the fourth thing, this was not my idea, but apparently Supreme Commander Gosar will be locked in every 5 levels for you to play as the Warlord. At least I hope that's the case, so that players who don't have that Warlord will get a chance to use them in this campaign. Alright, so starting at level 1, we are going to be facing the Blood Angels, led by Lieutenant Tomaron. It's only 285 points, so a lot less than the 400 points that you will have to work with. 8 bodyguards, and many of the Blood Angels bodyguards don't actually combo with Tomaron's special rule, so this should be a very easy match to get through. Level 2 will be against Watch Captain Artemis with 9 bodyguards. This is actually slightly less points at 273, but Artemis' special rule will have a much greater impact because every time he deploys a card, it'll deal percentage damage to a random one of your cards. So in general, you don't want to deploy your highest health cards first, at least on the initial deployment against Artemis. Level 3 will be against Grandmaster Voldus with 283 points and 7 bodyguards. The bodyguards are all Grey Knights, and all Grey Knights are Psychers, so they will be benefiting from the Warp Storm. But for the most part, Grey Knights don't actually have like a really high psychic attack, so I don't think it'll be too difficult to beat these guys. They also don't really have many defensive traits either, so you should just be able to smash through them with just straight up damage. Level 4 will be against Azrael with 288 points and 10 bodyguards. The bodyguards are all Deathwing themed, so it'll be a mix of ranged and melee. And every time Azrael alternates between those attack types, he will be getting a pretty significant buff. But most of the Deathwing bodyguards aren't actually all that strong. There's quite a few new ones in there. I think, well, Belial is a pretty tough one, though. Inspiring Presence and Shields at max level. Watch out for that guy. Level 5 is against Helbrecht with 295 points and 9 bodyguards. The Black Templars have a lot of melee, and there's some pretty powerful cards in there. Obviously, every time they destroy one of your cards, they'll be getting a melee buff, which can get pretty nasty. So be careful if you're using lots of small, endless bodyguards. Actually, in fact, if you're playing as Supreme Commander Gosar, Helbrecht is actually going to be getting a lot more of those buffs, since you do have a lot more bodyguards that you'll be throwing at him. So it'll be an interesting matchup there. Now level 6 is against Logan Grimnar, and I think this might be one of the most difficult warlords to beat of all in this campaign. It's less than 300 points still, but 10 bodyguards, and a lot of the Space Wolves do have a powerful melee attack, combos really well with Logan's special rule, and you do have to watch out for that the cleave damage from his special rule. My advice would be to include some cards with defensive traits, like shields and fear might help against Logan, and just be careful with your positioning, because you know, if you have something with really low health next to one of your valuable cards, that can potentially just ruin your day. So yeah, hopefully this level isn't too bad. Level 7 is against the infamous Captain Acheron with his Iron Halo, very annoying to deal with, but it's only 276 points worth of bodyguards, and they're all Salamanders themed. I personally really like the Salamanders. I collected them back when I was in high school. I can't remember ever seeing like an entire Salamanders deck in this game, so just something I wanted to throw in there. To deal with the Iron Halo, it would help to have things like Sonic Blast and or Barrage to finish off those low health Space Marines. Level 8 will be against Lionel Johnson, and all of a sudden we are really jumping up in points here, going from 276 to 345 points. Only 7 bodyguards, and they are Ravenwing, so that's a lot of the ranged vehicles of the Dark Angels, which don't actually combo that well with the Lion, but since the Lion's special rule allows his guys to attack first on your turn, you probably do not want to go ranged against this deck, because yeah, you could end up getting a lot of your own cards killed before they get a chance to attack. But if you go Psychic or Melee, you should have a much easier time. Level 9 is against Guilliman, 373 points and 6 bodyguards. The theme is Ultramarines, and I have not included any of the really powerful legendary Ultramarine bodyguards in here. I think there may be some Dreadnoughts in there. Guilliman did get buffed this season though, so he will be a little bit stronger than you might expect. Level 10, Tolmaron is back with a lot more bodyguards, 439 points, 6 bodyguards, but this includes some of the Blood Angels heroes. And there are some pretty powerful legendary Blood Angels. But again, many of them don't actually combo with Tolmaron's special rule, so although it is more points than you have available, it should be pretty doable. And once again, I do believe you will have Supreme Commander Gosar, which should make it an easier time, I would think. Now, from level 11, we're going to start seeing some Servants of the Emperor decks, starting with Commissar Yarick, exactly 400 points with 11 bodyguards. However, 2 of them are the Endless Infantry, so it's actually more like 13 bodyguards. And the theme is Artillery. Now, this one could actually be quite difficult, because Yarick can really buff his ranged units like crazy, especially with this many bodyguards. Lots of tanks, no Lords of War though, just mostly common and rare cards, but it will still be a lot of damage coming your way. But yeah, just try to kill those tanks as quickly as possible. Level 12 is against Greyfax, running only 170 points, but remember that the more unused points Greyfax has, the stronger the buff will be. There are 7 bodyguards, including a bunch of infantry heroes, many of them legendaries, who will get buffed through the roof. I don't actually know the percentage by which they'll be getting buffed, but I imagine it will be very high, because with the 400 point limit, you know. Yeah, this could be a little bit scary. Level 13 is against Ursarkar E. Creed, running 368 points, only 4 bodyguards, and yeah, I know how oppressive Creed's special rule can be, so I did not want to throw like a million bodyguards in there, because that would just not be fun. But the theme is Mega Tanks, so we are going to be seeing some of the crazy Lords of War in this deck. But yeah, just a couple of them, so should be doable. Level 14 will be against Supreme Commander Morven Vahl. So 394 points, 9 bodyguards, one of them is Celestine, so she will come back with full health. All of the bodyguards are Sisters of Battle. Being a newer warlord, you might have not faced this new Morven Vahl many times, but it can be kind of unpredictable, because sometimes your attacks will deal a lot less damage than you expect, and other times the enemy's attack will deal a lot more damage. And the sororitas have some pretty strong bodyguards, so yeah, it'll be a bit of a challenge to get through this one. Level 15 will be against Supreme Commander Trajan Valoris. 444 points and 10 bodyguards, all of them custodies. So, and many of the custodies do combo well with Valoris. Yeah, just a bunch of really tough dudes. But again, if you have Supreme Commander Gosar, shouldn't be too incredibly difficult, I would think. Level 16 is against the infamous Supreme Commander Belisarius Call, running 449 points, 10 bodyguards, all of them Adeptus Mechanicus. You at least don't have to worry about Psionic Blast, and I don't think there's any Barrage either, because those two traits combo very well with Call. But still, just be aware that his attacks will go through your shields, and he does also get healing every turn, so it'll still be a bit of a challenge, I think, to get through these guys. Now, level 17, Logan is back with a vengeance. This time, 462 points, 8 bodyguards, and we've got some of the most powerful Space Wolf heroes. And yeah, Space Wolves have some very strong bodyguards. So this will be another very difficult battle. I honestly don't even know if Tyranids have the bodyguards capable of beating this, but hopefully it's doable. Level 18, Guilliman is back again, this time 450 points, 9 bodyguards, and this was a fun idea I had to make every single bodyguard of a different Space Marine chapter. So we're representing a bunch of different Space Marine sub-factions. Most of them are chapter masters, so powerful heroes, getting buffed even further by Guilliman's special rule. So another challenging mission there. Level 19, Lionel Johnson is back, this time with 531 points of bodyguards. That is a crazy number, but only 6 bodyguards, and they are all Space Marine tanks. And I'm talking about like the vehicle tank. So again, with a lot of the tanks having their main attack as ranged, it doesn't actually combo all that well with the Lion. And again, you do not want to go ranged against these guys. Going psychic or melee would be the better option. And finally, for level 20, we've got the Blood Angels for the last time. Lieutenant Tomaron leading 558 points, 8 bodyguards, and this just includes all of the strongest Blood Angel heroes, as well as a Thunderhawk gunship. And you better hope that that gunship does not deploy on turn 1, because that will be getting buffed massively by Tomaron's special rule. And it's got shields and taunt as well, so very difficult to take down. But yeah, that is the final mission, and if you get through that, the day is yours. So good luck to all of you. Hopefully the campaign is possible to complete. I designed it, but I did not playtest it, so I honestly have no idea. Again, Space Marines and Servants of the Emperor do have a lot more powerful bodyguards than Tyranids do, so that is kind of my biggest concern here. I forgot to mention you do also have 3 strikes in this campaign, so it is possible to strike out. Hopefully, though, a lot of people will be able to complete the campaign and get those rewards, though. So, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.